everybody. How's it going? Everybody enjoying the show trial?
InfoWars host Alex Jones never at a loss for words during his defamation trial in Connecticut.
I apologized 4 years ago on Joe Rogan. It's got over 100 million views for 30 minutes 4 years ago.
Now we're recapping the top moments of his trial this week. I'm Angenette Levy, and welcome to Law&Crime's Sidebar podcast. Well, Alex Jones in court on the stand this week and holding plenty of press conferences outside as a jury in Waterbury, Connecticut determines how much he will pay in damages to the family of children killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School back in 2012. He is also being sued by FBI agents. So it's been something to watch, this whole thing unfold. Sandy Hook was an absolute travesty and a tragedy. And Jones had said for many years he thought it was staged, that it was a false flag operation. He has been found liable by default. And he's saying even if there's a judgment against him, guess what? He doesn't have any money. So let's take a look.
And now they're having their show trial, and they've made up all this imaginary money I have when I'm in bankruptcy and I'm almost personally out of money. And so it doesn't matter if they do a $500 billion verdict, a $10 million verdict, a $50 million verdict. You can't get blood out of a stone. You can't get blood out of these granite steps right here.
And joining me to discuss this is Rich Schoenstein. He is a Law&Crime legal analyst. Welcome back to Sidebar, Rich. We love having you on.
Great to be here, Angenette.
What do you think of Jones's argument that you can't get blood out of a stone, you can't get blood out of the courthouse steps? You know, I don't have any cash. I'm in bankruptcy.
Well, I think this is his ultimate and maybe best defense. You know, there's going to be a jury award in this case somewhere between large and astronomical, as there was a big award down in Texas. And Jones is going to say three things. One, it's unfair. Two, I can't pay it. And three, I need a lot of people to send me money because I'm continuing this great fight against the government, et cetera, et cetera. But he's going to hide behind these bankruptcies and his purported financial inability to try to get out of this mess.
Now, Alex Jones was on the stand on Thursday, and there was a lot of back and forth between him and attorney Chris Maddie, who represents the plaintiffs in this case. And this is what Alex Jones had to say about Maddie's court performance. Let's take a listen.
Well, I don't want to specifically get into attorney-client privilege type stuff, but in Norm Pattis's words, Chris Maddie crapped the bed. And his legal colleagues all over the state, including Democrats and Republicans, judges, you name it, have chimed in and said, my God, that was the most disgusting thing they've probably ever seen. He looked like a fool. And in a case they thought that they were sure to win, he may have lost the case for him. And I can tell you, Maddie's father, who's a famous lawyer, chewed him out and screamed at him in there yesterday after what he did. I mean, he absolutely got completely out of control, trying to piss me off to get out of control, and I didn't get out of control. And so we're just going to let him throw more fits in there, and then he'll get up there and Josh Koskoff will start crying and then look at the jury and go cry, and try to get a big cry fest going in there because they want to suck money out of people.
Rich, I'm wondering what you think of this comment. Alex Jones is saying, quote, that Norm Pattis told him that Chris Maddie crapped the bed, that he just basically blew it when he was on the stand and that Jones got the better of him. Your thoughts on that comment? I want to personally have Norm Pattis on and to ask him, did you say that?
Well, listen, I don't let my clients tell anybody what I told them. That's attorney-client privilege, so he shouldn't be saying it. But he's also done this thing, right, that a lot of people do, where they say, a lot of people are saying this, that, and the other thing. And it's nonsense. He can have his opinion. My opinion is that in that fracas, Alex Jones came out the worst of the two. Although I didn't think it was the best examination I've ever seen, but I thought Jones came out the worst.
Interesting. And let's take a look at a little bit of that back and forth between him and Alex Jones.
That's Robbie Parker, isn't it, Mr. Jones?
It is.
That's the real Robbie Parker, isn't it?
I mean, I said years ago I thought Sandy Hook had him.
Robbie Parker's sitting right here. He's real, isn't he?
Yes.
And for years, you put a target on his back, didn't you?
Objection to the form of that, Judge.
Well, I mean,
Didn't you?
I've admitted I've said his name. It's true. I haven't said other people's names when I know who they are.
You put a target on his back just like you did every single parent and loved one sitting here, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
No, you
Objection,
didn't.
that's argumentative, it's speculative, there is no foundation for it, and it's inappropriate in
Let's
this
move on.
context.
These are real people. You know that,
Objection,
Mr.
Judge.
Jones?
I think you just told them to move on.
Just like all the Iraqis, but you liberals kill and love. You're unbelievable. You switch on emotions on and off when you want. It's just ambulance chasing.
Why don't you show a little respect?
Objection, Judge, I think that you get what you give in this court. Objection.
You have families in this courtroom here that lost children, sisters, wives, moms.
Is this a struggle session? Are we in China?
Rich, one thing that I think is interesting is that Alex Jones is kind of what you see is what you get. Obviously, he has a huge following and a lot of people don't like him, but he does have a big following. And this is him using all of the buzzwords, communist China, everything he talks about on his show, asking whether this is a struggle session. So obviously, that's probably not going to play well with the jury there in Waterbury, Connecticut.
No, it's not. And most of what Alex Jones is doing here is intended for outside the courtroom, not inside the courtroom. He can't win this case inside the courtroom. As I said, it's going to be a giant award against him. But he's sending a message to the people that do support him. And you're right, he's using those trigger words to get to his supporters.
Now, let's take a look at what Alex Jones had to say when he was questioned about his calling the judge in this case, Judge Barbara Bellis, a tyrant.
You've been telling your audience, Mr. Jones, this week and last, that this is a kangaroo court, that Judge Bellis is a tyrant. It's part of a plot. Because you don't want your audience to know what's really happening. Isn't that correct?
No.
Objection, motion eliminating opening a door.
I don't think I'm opening any door with that.
All right, so I think you can answer that question, sir, but just remember the issues that are off limits.
Because your credibility, sir, is the most important thing with your audience, isn't it?
How do I answer a question, Your Honor, that I've been barred from answering under orders of the court?
All right, so the question is your credibility is the most important thing to you. Is that a question that
It's the
you
most
can...
important thing with your audience.
No,
right?
my most important.
No, okay, no. Your credibility is not your most important thing.
It's crushing
Okay.
the globalist.
Crushing globalists. Mm-hmm. And you tell your audience that they need to keep letting you crush those globalists for the sake of their own families, right?
Objection, Judge, motion eliminating door opening.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I don't
I'm
think
going
that
to
there's...
excuse the jury at this point for 5 minutes so that we can work out this issue. Okay? So just be patient with us as we've been all along.
Rich, crushing globalists. That's what Alex Jones says is the most important thing in the world to him, not his credibility, but crushing globalists.
Crushing globalists. People who crush globalists are well known for selling supplements and other products and raising a lot of money. So I think his number one goal is generating cash. I take it with a little bit of grain of salt. I don't think the jury's going to buy it at all. And obviously, him going off about the court is a bad look.
And I'm wondering if we're going to see Crushing Globalist t-shirts coming out, maybe bumper stickers too. I don't know. I mean, the guy, he's a businessman, right?
Right. And that's what he's doing, Angenette. He's trying to generate business. You know, he went out right after he lost that case in Texas and had Roger Stone go on, I think, the night of, and tell people that they should be buying products, sending Alex Jones money. He's going to do the same thing here. He's trying to turn a loss in these litigations into a financial windfall.
I've always wanted to interview Roger Stone. I watched a documentary about him a long time ago, but maybe that'll be a show for another day. Let's look now as Chris Maddie questions Alex Jones about the importance of this case.
And this is an important case. You understand that?
I mean, that's an opinion.
Okay. You don't think this is an important case? That's a yes or no, sir.
It's not, I don't really think it is a case. I don't think it is a case.
Okay. We're going to there's going to be a lot of this today. And
Objection, Judge.
All right, so let's iron out the wrinkles now. If you can answer the question with a yes or no, Mr. Jones, answer it with a yes or no. If you don't know the answer, you can say don't know the answer. And of course, if there's an objection, you'll just wait for me to rule on the objection.
this is an important case, isn't it, Mr. Jones?
I think this is historic.
Rich, obviously, Alex Jones thinks that this case is historic for much different reasons than maybe Chris Maddie does, right?
Right. Well, Alex Jones doesn't seem to be clear on whether or not it even is a case. First he said it wasn't, then he said it was. But it is a case. I can confirm that. The things he's interested, though, all the First Amendment, all of those kind of issues would have been addressed in the liability part of this case. But again, remember, Alex Jones forfeited that. He didn't participate in discovery. He didn't provide evidence. He didn't get to make the kind of arguments he wants to make now. So he's trying to inject them. But really now, this case is just about damages. It's just about setting a number.
And it's, if you wanted to argue that it wasn't a case, the pretrial phase was the time to do that, not when we got to this point. Well, Rich
That's right.
Schoenstein, thank you so much for joining us and for your time as always. We appreciate it.
Great being here. Thank you.
And that's it for this edition of Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. It is produced by Michael Deininger and Sam Goldberg. Bobby Szoke is our YouTube manager. Alyssa Fisher handles our bookings, and Kiara Bronson does our social media. You can download and listen to Sidebar on Apple, Spotify, Google, and wherever else you get your podcasts. And of course, you can always watch it on Law and Crime's YouTube channel. I'm Angenette Levy, and we'll see you next time.